No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone and someone cares for you. As an individualization of divine point of view, this door is open. Oh, this door is open. This door right here is open for you. This door is open to you. This door. I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in.
Come on in this morning. This door is open to you. Thank you for being here today. And for those of you that are in the building, would you turn and wave back at our cameras? There's actually one over on each side here. And to welcome those that are joining us virtually on live stream, we want to thank you all for being here today. We always like to begin our time together in prayer. I invite you to just take this moment to turn our awareness inward. Take a moment together to be here now. Right here where we are, it's a day where clouds and sun are playing peekaboo. There's a little of each coming out. It appears that rain is on the way. Fall is clearly here, reminding us that the nature of nature is change. That even in those times it looks like we're standing completely still, we're still on this planet called Earth that is moving through the orbit. The nature of nature is change, is movement. Today we open to what it means to surrender in consciousness, in a spiritual sense. How is that part of the natural rhythm of life? What is it and what is it not? Today we open to this in a way that allows us to be more free, more trusting, more at peace. And for this opportunity to be here together, we're truly grateful. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all for being here. Would you please stand as you're able and join in our opening song that says, everybody get up on your feet.
Did you no, those were yours. Okay.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we used to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up off your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up off your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we used to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah. While you're on your feet, would you turn and welcome those around you, extending that hand of fellowship, the greeting of namaste that says, I behold the divinity in you. We welcome you, those of you that are joining us virtually. We truly appreciate who you are. Having you be a part of these services means so much. Welcome to Unity.
In my soul, Lord, in my soul, Lord, I can feel you. Everybody, in my soul, in my soul, Lord, in my soul, Lord, I can feel you in my soul. In the mountain,
In the valley,
in the valley,
I can feel you.
I can feel you, yeah, in my soul.
In the mountain,
In the mountain, in the valley, I can feel you, oh, in my soul. In the sunshine,
in
the sunshine, the rainbow, in the rainbow, I can feel you all in my soul. In the sunshine, in the rainbow, I can feel you in my soul.
play a band. In my soul,
In my soul, Lord, oh, in my soul, Lord, I can feel you, oh, in my soul,
in my soul,
in my soul, Lord, in my soul, Lord, I can feel you, in my soul,
in my soul,
in my soul, yeah, in my soul, in my soul,
in my soul. Elaine Scott and our Unity Band, thank you so much. You may be seated. Thank you for being here this beautiful day. Can you believe it is mid-October in the year 2025? How did this happen? Well, it's a beautiful day, and I want to welcome you this morning. My name is Darlene Strickland, and it's my joy to welcome you. We have a wonderful program for our children, babies, infants, all the way up through teens. And so if you have a child, a teen, an infant that's still in the chapel and you'd like to be part of the Sunday school program, if you head over to this side, some of our teachers will greet them and take them out into the Sunday school area together. There's an affirmation that we extend to our young people and through them to all young people. It's up on the screen if you would join me in this now together. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity in you. Have a wonderful Sunday school experience this morning. We also welcome each and every one of you here today, whether it's your first time, whether you're just coming back from a long trip, Judy and Steve, whether we've got some ministers that have relocated to Lake Junaluska, Susan and David Torres. It's good to have you in the house now. We've got some other ministers in here, Eileen and Richard. Where are you? This is a beautiful place where ministers flock, and we love that. Maybe you're here for the first time today. If that is the case, if you just raise your hand, our welcoming team will give you a connections card. Wonderful welcome. If you hold your hand up, or Unity folks lovingly point until they can find you, they give you a connection card, and it has a red heart. If you wear that heart, we can more easily recognize you being here today. There's some up over here. And if we missed you, just stop by our welcome center. But either way, we want to welcome you. And whether it's your first time joining us virtually, or whether this is a part of your spiritual practice, your community, we take this moment to extend this blessing to everyone. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Beth, I called her a few weeks ago our holy glue. She's in the hub of our church office, and so she's taken a hold of that name. Would you please welcome Beth Beloit, our holy glue, who's going to share some...
I love that. Yeah, I love that, wouldn't you? I mean, I just love that. So next Saturday, on October 25th, we're going to celebrate the life of our beloved Sharon White together at 11 o'clock a.m. Today we have Charlie Castix in the house. He will be, yes, Charlie, and Catherine, and he will be bringing a workshop this afternoon from 3 until 5. At the end of the service today, he'll say a little more about that. Our Arts and Crafts Fair is on October 26th after our service. If you want to rent a table, please sign up online. In our Welcome Center, it has received a bit of a facelift, and we would like to release some books. So please go and see what you would like to have. And a love offering can be a blessing as well. Just a blessing or some, green stuff. Or just take the books. Just take the books. We have a New to Unity class, and we're doubling up this time because some people don't travel at night. So we're going to have our New to Unity class, and it's a refresher as well, on Thursday, November 13th, from 2 until 3:30 p.m., and then again from 6:30 until 8. Please sign up online for that. So how many of you have wanted a church directory? Raise your hand. How many of you wanted a church directory? Well, our Jennifer has made it so. She has created through Breeze our church directory. And you can see on the slides all the benefits for the church directory. In the lobby, and I believe in the Welcome Center also, you will find this. It has a barcode. It has a barcode. All you have to do is take your phone and aim it on that barcode, and it will take you to a sign up. And there's another, would you go to the next slide that shows the sign up? There's that. Those are the benefits. There's that. So it's a wonderful thing, and we just owe a lot of thanks to our Jennifer for getting this together. So now I'm going to call up Carol. Carol Mobley is one of our board members, and she's going to deliver our inspirational reading today. Thank you, Carol.
Good morning. Very little grows on jagged rock. Be ground, be crumbled, so wildflowers will come up where you are. You have been stony for too many years. Try something different. Surrender, Rumi. Rumi understood what most of us resist. Transformation doesn't come from holding it together. It comes from letting it all fall apart in love. Surrender is the softening, the holy willingness to crumble where we've been rigid, to let tenderness reshape what fear once hardened. It's not collapse, it's consent to grow open and whole again. The hard places, the certainties, the control, the ego defenses keep anything new from taking root. But when we let them break down, new life begins to rise through the cracks, wildflowers, possibility, love. So if you find yourself jagged and weary from trying to hold it all, try something different. Empty and surrender. Surrender the illusion that it was ever yours to carry alone. And notice what holds you when you finally let go.
When my hands were empty, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder what I had done wrong. But even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Into my empty hands, gently you poured new life in me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand you needed my empty hand. So forgive me when I doubted or consider giving up. I know I'll never go without it. Your deep abiding love into my empty hands. Gently you poured new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you give. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. Thank you for my empty hands.
Scott and that Unity Band. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Elaine, Jason, Joel, Dave, and Pete. Elaine is recuperating from a major back surgery and doing incredibly well. Would you show her your gratitude again? Elaine Scott and our Unity Band, thank you so much. Such a beautiful, powerful song by Daniel Nahmod. You really have to get the meaning. And we're going to talk about that, what that is today. Every fall, every October, the first Sunday of October, we celebrate our homecoming. This spiritual community just celebrated 76 years. That's a big anniversary. That's a big milestone. And as a part of that, we kick off a 7-week fall series where many of you join together in small book groups, and we work through, and before Brandy leaves, Brandy, don't let me forget, would you thank her for that beautiful sign language? Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She steps out to go work with our young people where she teaches them. And what we have found to be quite surprising, parents have given us feedback that the children who are neurodivergent or on an Asperger spectrum are the ones that are catching on and responding the quickest. So it's just a beautiful gift that Brandy shares. Thank you for that. So we, every fall, begin a study series for 7 weeks that we take a book and the theme, the idea, we use it, but take it much deeper. And in the process of that, many of you gather in groups. I've got good news. We've got one more Zoom group. Any of you, there were people lining up, waiting to get in an online group. So we do have one more that is open. You can see Beth about that. But this year, I picked Ordinary Mysticism by Mirabai Starr, because the premise is that this word we hear mystic, and sometimes you think about a Meister Eckhart or perhaps a Mother Teresa, and you think, I'll never have that kind of relationship with all that is. And yet her premise is this, that to be a mystic is simply to experience the divine, however you know it, however you call it. Have you ever had a walk in nature or along the beach, and you just knew that you knew that you knew that you were just part of everything? To bring that awareness into everyday aspects of our life. And so each week, she's given us an idea, which if you really look at it, it's a movement in consciousness. It's also a practice. We began the first week with intention. When you're talking about intention, you're talking about your compass. It sets your direction, the direction of your heart. And if your intention is pure and you know that you're moving in that direction, it aligns you. And there's some comfort in knowing that. From intention, last week, the second week we went to attention. They work very closely together. Attention helps focus and steady the mind, bring us back to the present moment. Focused attention keeps you, where the intention aligns you, focused attention keeps you aligned. And today we step into surrender. Now, surrender is one of those words, when you hear it, you may have a little visceral, bleh. Anybody not really like the word? I mean, just be honest. There's a lot of definitions. And one definition of surrender is to raise the white flag, to say, I surrender, I quit, I give up, I lose, you win. That's not a good feeling. So the good news is that's not the surrender we're talking about today. We're talking about what spiritual surrender means. And the reason I believe it falls in this order is because when you're clear in your intention, and you've learned to become more mindful of where is my attention, what am I energizing, what am I focusing on with my attention. But when you're clear with your intention, and when you have some skill around your attention, you can begin to relax a bit, and you start to feel some trust. When you know your big why am I here? Why am I doing this? What matters to me in this moment? And if I'm aligned with that, then come what may, I'm aligned with my intention. And so where she talks about surrender as the next step, she's talking about letting go of anything that would stand in the way from what would naturally arise in us being able to have those open hands, open heart, not clenching so much. When I was really living into this week, I kind of had a flashback 2 different times. I grew up in North Carolina, but on the other end of the state, much closer to the coast. But our family always loved the mountains, and so we would come here quite often for a summer vacation. And I'll never, ever forget the image of my father driving around the Blue Ridge Parkway, going downhill, not wanting to burn out his brakes, so going a little faster than he should, in that big old wide Buick car, and my mother clutching onto the dash, thinking she had, saying, Merle, his name is Merle, Merle, slow down, slow down. I'll never forget that as a child, that I was a little terrified of what was going on in the front seat. And maybe you've been on parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway like that. Or maybe it didn't come on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Maybe you've ridden the Pacific Coast Highway in California, going to the Sun Road in Montana. What about Mount Washington, that road in New Hampshire, or Colorado's $1 Million Highway, where there's beauty in every direction, but not a guardrail in sight? I also had the privilege of serving as the minister on Maui, Hawaii. I had this incredible awakening while I was there. And if you've been to Maui, there's something called the Road to Hana. Yeah, you've been. It's treacherous, and the natives drive it fast. You're clinging to a side of a rock. There's a huge cliff, and in many places there's only space for one car. And then there's a fabulous waterfall coming out of the jungle, and you're trying to look and all these things. And so I had a friend. I had more friends when I lived in Maui than I've ever had anywhere time in my life. I had a friend who was visiting, and she wanted to make that drive to Hana. So we set out and started. And here we go, and it gets to those treacherous parts. And she said, can we pull over? Can we pull over? And I thought, yeah, she wants to take some pictures. And we pulled over, and she said, I am holding so tight, I'm forgetting to breathe. And I'm missing the view. Well, she wasn't even driving. I thought, you're holding on so tight, you can't breathe. I believe I recalled those this week because they're really a pretty good metaphor for life. Have you found that in some of the most treacherous places, pray as you may, there's no guardrails, it feels like? Or you're just going along just fine, and then you hit a patch of fog and you can't see. Or you're really going on along fine, and the next thing you know, you're in a tunnel. I was driving the Blue Ridge Parkway and didn't get my lights on fast enough and wound up in a tunnel, pitch dark. Life is a lot like that. And when she said, I'm holding on so tight, I'm forgetting to breathe, I'm missing the view. Surrender is learning to notice when we're clenching, we're holding so tight that we need to pivot. We need to pull over, but I call that a pivot in consciousness. You know what a pivot in consciousness is? It's when you're in a relationship and you love that person, but it's starting to turn into an argument, and you're feeling it. You know that feeling. You're getting so irritated, and you know you're right. You know you are. And you feel it, you just want to lash out. But you stop and you just pause for a moment, and you have to pivot slightly away from all of that that's inside of you. You got to do a slight pivot and breathe and just say, okay, what's my intention here? My intention is to understand. My intention is to connect. My intention is to show up as best as I possibly can. Taking that pause to pull over, not literally, it doesn't usually work if you say, can you hold just a second? and have to go do the hokey pokey, although that may settle them down. But in your mind, you can just feel it to let go. That's what we're talking about in surrender this week. It sounds like giving up, but it's not. It's letting go of how we're currently holding this in a way that's gripping, how we're attached, how we're defensive. It's taking a pivot with our posture, so to speak, to relax a little bit. It's loosening where we've been clenched. It's softening where we've been stubborn. It's allowing some space where we realize we've been bracing against, fighting against. It's not about being overpowered at all. It's about being open and aligned with higher power, with greater power, with all that is. Every spiritual tradition, interestingly, teaches about this kind of surrender. And it often wraps it in the paradox that it shows up in, that the moment you let go, instead of losing something, in the letting go, you realize something larger can emerge. Any person familiar with a 12-step program understands that surrender. It's not a letting go and throwing in the towel. It's a letting go of the way that I've been crazy and trying to control this. It's a letting go of the habits that are ruining my life. It's a letting go of thinking that they have the ultimate say. And it's opening to a higher wisdom, a higher power that's always available and operating within me. In the spiritual traditions in Christianity, Jesus demonstrated it clearly when he said, not my will, but thy will. I'm going to let go of the only thing I can see at the moment, and I'm going to lean into the trust that I have built with the greater presence. It's also when he said that whoever loses their life, whoever lets go of the belief that life is only about survival, whoever loses their life will ultimately find it. In Buddhism, it's called non-attachment. It's to let go of grasping and clinging and trying to control the things that we can't control anyway. In Hinduism, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, abandon all attachment to the results of action and surrender. Surrender to the higher power. That's do what's yours to do, but release the belief that you can ultimately control the outcome. Now just pause a minute. How important is that in our world today? Many people showed up yesterday standing up for something you believe in. Desperately need to do these things. And there's that delicate balance of not getting so attached in any point that we wind up undermining our own compassionate presence. You know what I'm saying? In Sufi mysticism, Rumi said, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Isn't that beautiful? It's the letting go. I grew up in a Pentecostal church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. We had a lot of revivals where a guest minister would come in and preach every night. I would sleep on the pews in church and do homework there. But even as a young child, there was one person that told this story, and I've never forgot it. It even spoke to me as a young child. He told the story about reading about a young man who had lost almost everything. And the very things that he did have, he had in a few heavy bags, and he was carrying those bags with him walking down a road. This young man was tired, was thirsty, was trying to get home wherever he was headed. And along comes, it was the days of the horse and the wagon, and along comes this horse and a wagon with a family who had been into town. The parents are up front, and they've got a bunch of kids in the back. And they stop when they see the man, and they say, "Sir, we're headed this way. We'll be glad to give you a ride." And the young man was so thankful. And so he climbed up in the back, in the wagon with the children. He hauled his heavy bags, and he sat down. And then he grabbed both of those bags, and he kind of picked them up over his shoulder. And he just sort of, as he was sitting there, he was leaning over like this with the bags behind him. And they take off, and they're going. And the little boy looks at him and says, "Sir, why are you holding those heavy bags? Aren't they heavy?" And the young man said, "Yeah, they're real heavy. But you know, your dad was kind enough to give me a ride. Your folks gave me a ride. They're carrying me. The least I can do is carry my own bags." And the little boy laughed and said, "Both you and your bags are already being carried by the horses." Both of you, all of it is already being carried. You see, a surrender is when we realize it's not abandoning anything. It's learning to be in relationship with it. It's learning to carry it differently. And when you carry it differently, it opens you up to a few things, and that's what we want to talk about next, is some of the things that this opens us up to. And so surrender is not effort, it's the beginning of flow. It's not the loss of power, it's realigning with higher purpose. When we see it as a spiritual posture, is how we can be in relationship to the thing, whatever it is we may be struggling with, then everything shifts. We can loosen our grip. We can breathe a little easier. And we can allow for a higher consciousness to illuminate what's happening. I think it's also helpful to take just a minute and to really get clear about what this kind of surrender is not. Again, it's not just giving up. That says, "I quit. Whatever happens, just going to happen." That's resignation. Surrender is also not avoidance, because that becomes evasion. You can't heal what you won't tend to and look at. It's not denial, it's not avoidance. And it's not a spiritual bypass. It's not saying, "Oh, well, everything just happens for a reason," or "Oh, hell, all is well," and then going on about my merry way. It's not a spiritual Band-Aid, spiritual bypass. Surrender actually begins when denial ends. It is very participatory. It's not passive. If we're not engaged, surrender becomes helplessness or apathy. It's also not martyrdom. Some people have been conditioned to say, "Oh, well, whatever you want, I'll surrender what I want." And to see that as something very holy, but actually that's sacrifice that doesn't really serve anyone well. Sacrifice says, "I'll lose myself so you can win." Surrender says, "I'll align myself so both of us can be a part of this equation." It's a real difference there. It's not a loss of power, it's relocating the power. It's also not a one and done. Have you ever surrendered and let go of something, and then the next day you noticed you had to let it surrender again? And it's often not real pretty. I love to light candles and incense and sing Kumbaya, but sometimes surrender is ugly cry. It's honest confessions. It's having to say, "I am sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't realize that was going to happen." Surrender sometimes is realizing you need to delete that phone number that you really should not have. It's making those kind of decisions. It's a threshold, and it's knowing how to meet things differently. So again, it works with our intention and our attention. And as we go through all of these 7 things, you'll see that they're not one and the next and the next. They all work together dynamically. intention, attention, and surrender, a kind of trust. Now that assumes that you have some sort of intention. So I want you to listen to an intention said 3 different ways. This is an intention that one of you may have. Beloved, keep me awake in your presence. Let me stay close to your love in all things. Reveal to me my own divine nature, that I may live as a vessel of your light. That's a beautiful poetic intention. Said another way, may I awaken to this moment fully. May I rest in the presence of love, the living essence of God within all. May I realize my true nature and let that realization express as my highest potential. Again, said slightly differently, but it's the same thing. And here's a more succinct way to say the same thing. May I be present. May I be love. May I be all God created me to be. May I be present. May I be love. May I be all God created me to be. Would you say that with me? May I be present. May I be love. May I be all God created me to be. Now let's just suppose that that is your intention. That when you're living into that, you can say, it is well with my soul. Come what may, come what may. I have challenges, issues, things come up. But when I'm living, may I be present, may I be love, may I be all that I'm created to be. When I'm really living that, there's something in me that can relax and can surrender what may be resisting it. So if you're grounded in something like that, now let's assume that you step back out into your ordinary life. You leave out of here, you get back in your car, you look at your phone. Or you have a conversation, or you whatever. Well, you're facing something frustrating. You're facing uncertainty. Maybe you're waiting to hear about a diagnosis, about a family member. You're waiting to hear about something. And the more we go, and by the end of the day, when you're tired and your defenses are a little worn down, and you start worrying these things like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then the mind kicks into overdrive and says, well, what are you going to do if this happens? Or what about this? Or what about this? Anybody else's mind work like that? Just go like that's why it's called the monkey mind. It jumps from one what about to the next what about. You have to make that, let me pull over, slightly pivot in consciousness. May I be present. May I be love. May I be all God created me to be. Guide me to do what I can do to respond, and help me to lean into trust. You see, you begin to soften a little bit. It's not magic. And it doesn't happen overnight. But the more we work with these things, the more you begin to be part of the flow of life rather than the person who doesn't even realize they're being carried by the flow. Does that make sense? So 3 things. When we surrender, one of the great benefits is it opens us to space. Have you ever been just thinking about a problem, and then you just let it go? Maybe you take a shower, or you go out and work in the yard, and then voila, all of a sudden an idea comes in. How many of you know that? That happens often, but you have to learn to let go. There's a story that comes from the Midwest about a family who owned a barber shop. The man running it at the time was a 3rd-generation barber. The small town in the Midwest, it had been in his family. He had run it successfully. But what happened a few years ago is a Jiffy Cuts, $5 haircuts, one of these national brands, moved into town. And all of a sudden, this place that had done well for 3 generations it now looks like the door is going to have to close. Because how do you compete with a $5 haircut? A new place, everybody wants to go. Business began to deteriorate. The man tried everything. He was so frustrated. He was losing it. He was ready to quit. And his son came home from college. He said, "Son, I haven't told you this, but it looks like we're going to have to close the business." And he began to explain why. Well, as it happened, his son had just taken a philosophy class where he learned about Thomas Edison naps. Now, this is true. Thomas Edison, a great inventor, learned to marinate a question. If he got stuck with something, he would sit, and he wanted to just become open but not go to sleep, and so he would get a metal trash can and hold a rock, and he would sit and ponder that question, be open to higher mind, and if he drifted off, blang, 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 he'd pick it back up and start again. So this son had just learned this Edison nap. And so with his dad, he knew his dad wasn't going to meditate with a rock in his hand over a trash can. So he said, "Dad, let's go fishing." So he took his dad fishing. They enjoyed the afternoon. They just had fun together. And when they came back, he said, "All right, Dad, let's just, we've having fun. Let's just start throwing now. What is every radical thing we could do for $5 haircuts? How can we compete?" And they started writing and laughing and throwing it down. And all of a sudden, both of them are like, "Oh my God, that's it." And so they implemented it, and it worked. And the idea that came to them is to put a big sign in their window that said, "In business for 3 generations, we fix $5 haircuts." That's what they did. It's brilliant. One idea. But it took being willing to let go. Jason, would you and the band come up? Surrender. You're wanting some space. You're wanting to realize that there's a higher vision, higher mind, higher possibility. When we learn and practice that continually, any artist, any creative person knows you have to have space for inspiration. That means you can't be full of your current thoughts. You can't be so full of yourself. The second thing that surrender does for us is it's always growing us in self-awareness. There's a story in the book of Corinthians from the Bible about Paul, the Apostle Paul. And it says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take this away from me. Take it away. He called it a thorn in the flesh. 3 times he begged, take it away, take it away, take it away. Now, scholars have tried to debate and get stuck trying to figure out what the thorn in the flesh was. To me, that's not so complicated. It was a pain. It hurt. There's something in his life that he wanted relief, and he wanted it removed. But what he got was a self-revelation. What he got was the realization that, you know what? Sometimes you can't change certain things. You get a certain age, unless you get bionic knees, you just can't do what you used to do. Some things come, some things go, some things change. And pray as we wish, some things don't change. Now, you might not like hearing that from a minister, but you know good and well that's a fact of life. Amen? It's a fact. There's some things that just are. But it doesn't mean the story's over. Because he went on to say, I prayed and prayed and prayed, take it away, fix it. But this voice finally came and said, there's a grace. There's a grace that is so sufficient, and there's a power that is perfected right at the point you thought was your weakest. You see, right at the place you thought was your weakest place, that's the place that becomes the bridge to you become the hollow bone, the opening to something you didn't even know. So surrender, we need space. It's for creativity, for inspiration. Surrender is also very much about self-revelation and self-awareness. How many of you have changed in some way that X number of years ago you never thought you could change? Look around. The moral of the story is don't ever say, I won't or can't, won't do that. We change. We evolve. The third one, surrender gives us strength and an inner stability. That's what Laura learned when her teenage daughter fell into addiction. Laura was a single mom, divorced and determined, and she did what any loving parent would do. She tried to save her daughter. She set curfews. She paid for therapy. She organized prayer chains. She hid the pills. She tracked her daughter's phone. She pleaded. She bargained. She threatened. She prayed. She repeated. She pleaded. She bargained. She threatened. She prayed. But the more she tried, the more her daughter pushed away. After 15 months of complete chaos, someone told Laura about Al-Anon. It's a 12-step group for families who are struggling with someone who has an addiction. And so Laura finally went. She went and began to tell about the scenario with her daughter, and she didn't know what to do. And she said, I was taken back when an older woman looked me right in the eyes and said, you didn't cause it. You can't control it. You can't cure it. You didn't cause it. You can't control it. You can't cure it. So what can you do? She said, I burst into tears, not the angry, exhausted tears of frustration, but the sad, sobering kind when truth finally lands in the soul. She was right. I realized I'd been fighting so hard against what was happening that I wasn't really even being present to my daughter. And so I started to pray differently. She prayed, God, help us. Show me how to love her right where she is, protect her as much as I can, and keep healthy, loving boundaries. I'm going to say that again because somebody might need this. God, help us. I think we need this for our country. God, help us. Show us how to love her right where she is. Protect her as much as we can. And keep healthy, loving boundaries. Yeah. So she stopped threatening. She learned to be more present with her daughter. She noticed her daughter didn't avoid her quite as much because she wasn't preaching to her, nagging all the time. But she actually got more firm with tough love. They sat down and talked about some very clear boundaries and very clear consequences. And although it broke her heart, 15 months later, her daughter moved out and moved with a friend. And she said, it literally crushed me. I was worried and afraid. I had more sleepless nights. It broke my heart. But I kept remembering, I didn't cause it. I can't control it. I cannot cure it. So what can I do? And she leaned into what she could do. And this is the part that surprised her. She said, what really surprised me was the more I prayed that prayer, God, help us. Show me how to love her right where she is, protect her as much as I can, and keep healthy, loving boundaries. She said, I myself began to heal. I began to find self-love that I didn't even know I needed. I began to tend to wounds, to breathe again. I found that I was more generous. I realized I was much more compassionate towards other people. I could see their pain without so much judgment. It made me courageous. I stopped apologizing for having boundaries, and I also stopped apologizing for holding back on my own dreams. It made me more compassionate. I understood that everyone is fighting a battle that I can't see. Over time, it gave her more gusto for life, and she started to laugh, to dance again, to connect more deeply. Did she still have sleepless nights sometime? Yes. Did she still worry sometime? Yes. But you can see she found a way to move forward in light of what was going on. She said, surrender rarely rewrites the outer story first. It rewrites the heart that's telling it. It teaches us to pivot, to pull over, to let go of the gripping, the clinging, to really look at how we're relating to it, and to go back into that deepest intention. She said, years later, after my daughter had lost pretty much everything, she came to me one day and said, Mom, I've been sober for 41 days. And that was the true beginning of her own recovery. She said, I'm honored to tell you today that my daughter and I both attend 12-step programs really wonderfully, and we're taking it one day at a time. That's the power of surrender, my friends, that when the fog rolls in, when the guardrails disappear, when the tunnel is dark, surrender is not collapsing, it's communing. It's being in relationship in a new way. So this is a lot to take in, and we want to just really feel it all the way in our body, and in my experience, music does that best. So here we go. So I breathe in, and I breathe out, and I take in, and I give up, and I let love, I let go, I release, and I know. Just close your eyes and listen to this part here. No need to push, no need to over-try, no need to worry or question why. Just remember, then let it all go. You can release and know that I breathe in and I breathe out, and I take in and I give up, and I let love, I let go, I release, and I know. Sing it again. Let it be your prayer. I breathe in and I breathe out. I take in and I give up. I let love, I let go, I release, and I know. So I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment. May I be present. Allow me to be right here, all of me. I need not feel like I have to hide my hurt, my shame, my concerns. It's all right here. May I be fully present. And may I be love. My heart's desire is to be a loving presence. My heart's desire is to be in relationship with whatever comes my way in a way that is wise and loving. And may I be all God created me to be. And so the things that I've entangled myself with, that I've wrapped around my identity when we're really just part of a situation. Help me remember that I am an expression of all that is, that my spirit is the one spirit, that my consciousness, my mind, my awareness is part of greater awareness, that my very life, my very presence in this world is to be a presence, is to be the way of love, the way of wisdom, the way of courage, the way of light, the way of goodness. And so in whatever is in my world, whatever is challenging me, whatever's calling me, Holy Spirit, use me. Show me what's mine to do so that I can be fully present and be love and be all that I'm created to be. So I breathe in and I breathe out and I take in and I give out and I let love, I let go, I release. And I know. Now just drop your shoulders a little bit. You can let go of the dashboard. Let go. Breathe. And enjoy this beautiful ride we call life. Thank you so much. Rev Megan.
Thank you, Reverend Darlene. That was beautiful. Surrender. Could I please bring the ushers and the prayer chaplain forward? Surrender, that word is just going to stick with me. We have 2 ways today to take this deeper if you would like to. We have our resident guru, Barry. If you want the presence of love, this is the space. Barry is available right after the service if you'd like to pray. She's right out those doors. You'll see her standing there with a big smile on her face. She would love to pray with you if you'd like to take it deeper. If you can't and you need to mosey on about your day, we have the prayer box that she's holding. You can put a prayer in and we will pray for it. Our prayer chaplains pray for 30 days, and so does Silent Unity out of Kansas City. So we got you. If you want to join us right in the back community room right after the service, for about 15 minutes, we're going to do a prayer vigil and take the message that we learned today about surrender and take it deeper. So if you'd like to join us for that, we would love to have you. And then, of course, our ushers here, Judy and Cindy, we thank you so much for your service. And we thank you all for your gifts, your tithes, your talent, your time. It's so very important. It keeps the lights on, and it keeps us here giving this message out to a world that needs it. So let's take a moment and do our offering. There we go. Our offering affirmation. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. I am now in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God, and so it is. And I turn it over to Elaine and the band. Thank you.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you're discouraged, struggling, trying to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide, and I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. I let my faith receive the light. I am free in the Spirit, 'cause I'm only here for God. Come on, y'all. I release and I let go. I let my spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide, 'cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. Come on, y'all. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Break it down, man. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide, 'cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. In my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit, and I'm only here for God. Oh, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine, with that Ricky Byers song.
Yes.
You may be seated. There's one final announcement.
Hello. Good morning. How about that, huh? Wow. I'm Charlie Castex, and for 30 years and counting, I've been blessed to be a spiritual guide and a personal trainer of souls. So this afternoon, Unity is very graciously hosting Your Sacred Voice. In our workshop this afternoon, we're essentially going to explore the care and feeding of the fourth and fifth energy centers, the heart and the voice. Our objective is to elevate our energies, open our hearts, and to activate the spiritual voice within. Sound good? So I hope to see you there, 3 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much. He's the kind of guy that knows Oprah, but he's here today. So just so you know that he's offering this here. I want to thank you. Would you please stand as we join together? And Ricky Byers was recently with us, and so we're using her song for a while here for our closing. We're going to close together in singing Blessed Always. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always. Blessed always, Amen. Have a wonderful week. Online, there's detailed study questions for any of you that want to go deeper in the surrender. And we do have a few books in the bookstore.